Hey, girl. Hey.
Welcome back to Girl Meets Podcast. Hey guys, so it's Emma and Audrey back at it again. We have not done this podcast since our junior year in high school.
Was it?
Uh-huh. And we are now sophomores in college.
It's been almost 4 years.
It's been a long time.
Can you believe it's been almost 4 years? I was thinking about that the other day.
Yeah.
Because of you know who hit me up.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow, it's been 4 years since then.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Same
pretty
such.
wild. We decided we wanted to start this up again. And usually we're not going to be in the same place. That's a big thing for show.
We're home
not.
from college for winter break.
Mm-hmm.
And so tomorrow's Christmas Eve.
Tomorrow is Christmas Eve.
That's crazy.
And this is going to be uploaded on January 1st.
2024.
2024.
We started this in 2020.
2019, I think.
No, it was
2020. Okay.
This was COVID.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, I don't know. We obviously took a long break.
A break. A break, for sure.
We're like, let's take at least 4 years off.
Then we'll be good.
No. We wanted to do this again because I just think, like, I don't know, it came up in conversation.
A few times in the past, year.
Yes, absolutely, yes. And then over Thanksgiving break is when Emma and I kind of just looked at each other and we were like, should we just start it up again?
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah.
Why not?
Because, we found a way where we can do long distance calls and record and have, like, the audio sound good on each side.
Yeah.
But anyway.
And making it easier with editing, easier
Yeah.
for, Instagrams. And I feel like we also, both needed, a hobby in our lives. And this was something that we came back to. And we were like, it was really fun for us. It was fun for our friendship. And I feel like we can talk about new things now, after so much has happened in our lives. And we're in different stages now. Whereas we were just in high school then. And now we're adults and, going through not everything adult stuff, but kind of the transition years of transitioning from a teenager into an adult. Those years are super hard. So
yeah,
we're excited to talk about it and also go through it at the same time as we're talking about it.
Yes. And that's kind of what our first episode is. It's going to be just kind of the transition from high school to college. And I don't know, reaching out to all those high school listeners out there maybe who are worried about going into college, and we're just gonna kind of talk about what we have learned and our experiences, and also just in general what it will most likely be like.
Okay, the transition from high school to college is it's a lot of things. It's good, and it's a new opportunity for you to kind of reinvent yourself, especially if you're going away and you're going to meet new people. It's scary. It's hard to be away from family. It's hard to meet new people, hard to make new friends. And I feel like you're kind of thrown into it. I don't think that there was anything that someone could have told me to prepare me for my first year of college.
Yeah.
And everything that I would experience feelings-wise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we're just going to try to keep it so honest because
and real. Yeah.
Because everything we're going to say are things that we wish we knew, I guess, before we left.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same as Emma. It is scary. I had a hard time for sure. And a lot of people do and if you, whoever is listening right now, if you realize or have are realizing that you're having a hard time your first year of college, that's okay.
Yeah.
I promise everyone is in the same boat. Seriously, everybody is in the same boat. It is not easy for anyone. Living on your own can be really exciting, but yeah, it can be challenging as well. Being away from your parents, there's definitely pros and cons there.
Mm-hmm.
You no longer are kind of watched by them.
Yeah. The amount of independence that you have
yeah.
is almost an overwhelming amount of independence because your entire life you've had someone especially academically, to be like, when's this homework due? When do you have a test?
Yeah.
When's class? And like one of my professors, she always talked about how much free time college students have now, like just outside of class. So you have free time, obviously, to study and like do homework, but I feel like you have so much free time during the day because you're not in school from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. anymore. You only have an hour class some days, and then you have the rest of the day, and majority of that is for school, but you have the independence to choose exactly what you want to do with your time. And sometimes that's overwhelming. Like that was a little hard for me to know how to balance my time and how to choose it wisely.
Yeah, definitely.
On specific things.
Definitely. Yeah, just like adding on to that too is just like kind of the whole thing with the motivation with going to class. I feel like I have had a really hard time with that.
We should talk about that.
Oh, I will.
Because that is a huge thing that Audrey and I both struggled with that.
Yeah, so, if you just imagine yourself like in your bed in high school and you wake up and you're just like, oh my God, no, I do not want to go to school today. And you try to like lie to your parents and say that you're sick or you're not feeling well. And then they're like, okay, you're going. And like you can't stay home. You'll get in so much trouble from your parents. You'll get in trouble from the school if your parents don't call you out. Like you literally can't stay home because your parents are watching you. The school is watching you. Like you are basically forced to go to school in high school. By whoever it is that's telling you to go.
For sure.
In college, obviously, your parents are not going to be there unless like you're a commuter student.
Yeah, that's different.
But both Emma and I live on campus, so we don't have our parents there, and we also don't have like you have to have your parents call you out in order to skip class type of thing. Like you can just email your professors and literally just be like, oh, I'm not feeling well today. Or
well, in some classes, like attendance isn't even mandatory. So like a lot of the times I wouldn't even email my professors.
That too, yeah. It kind of depends. I've had both where it's like it is mandatory, or there's times when it's not.
Yeah.
But because I don't have that person there looking over my shoulder saying, hey, you need to get this done. You need to get to class at this time. You need to get out of bed. I don't care that you're saying you're sick. You're probably not actually sick. Like you need to go. I don't have that. We don't have that. So we are just, completely self-reliant and self-sufficient. And we can't rely on someone else telling us to go. We have to get ourselves to go, which can be so challenging at times. Yeah.
Yeah. That's when you need the motivation factor too, which I think a lot of our people our age lack sometimes is just motivation, and we struggle with procrastination. And I also feel like because we have that choice of deciding whether we want to go to class or not, we have probably some better options in our head of why we shouldn't go to class, of like, oh, well, like I could go and study more for this one class. And like, in my opinion, if you can skip a class to go and study for a more important class, I feel like I've done that before, and I feel like it is beneficial in some ways. I have
too, yeah.
But if it's like going to get coffee or like taking a nap, and you do that like every single week, then it gets like a little too much, and then it becomes like such a habit. So it's more of just like being cautious of how much you're skipping class, because it became such a routine to me of like, oh, like I can skip this week. And I think I didn't go to a full week of classes at all of my second semester of freshman year.
I don't think I did either. I'm not even gonna lie. I felt like I had senioritis. Like I did not want to go to class ever. It was so horrible. Plus I didn't really enjoy my classes at all. Because freshman year, sometimes you're forced to take some gen ed classes that maybe you're not very interested in. So it's harder to get yourself to go. But yeah, biggest piece of advice from all of that is literally just go to your class. Just go. Like, no matter how you're feeling, just go. I mean, obviously there's specific, like, excuses that totally make sense. Like, if you're actually sick, like, don't go. But if you're just like, oh, I don't feel like it today, it'll be fine. Like, and maybe your mindset is, oh, you know, this is my first time skipping this class. Don't even do it. Because literally what Emma said, it becomes a routine and a really unhealthy routine. And I've been there, Emma's been there, a lot of students have been there. But like, you just kind of have to remind yourself, I'm paying for this. My parents are paying for this. And each class is literally costing you money. So like, you're skipping out and then you're skipping a class and then you're basically losing money because you're not gaining anything from it because you're not being taught what was taught that day. You know? It has like a price tag on it, I guess.
It kind of does. Like, each class is like thousands of dollars, and like, when you put it into that perspective as well, like, that it's something that's huge and you're like, oh, I probably shouldn't be skipping class right now.
Definitely.
And also, I feel like something that helped me, because this fall semester of my second year, I've done a lot better at not skipping classes. And it was kind of the fresh start of like having the summer to relax and then like moving into a new place. Having new classes helped, new teachers. But also something that helped was just not skipping class to begin with. Like, like to just not start it, kind of like what Audrey was saying. And if I did, I wanted it to be for a very good reason. And a lot of my professors were not strict on like attendance policies. So I had the opportunities to miss class, which I think made it even harder. But also like setting myself up in other aspects of my life in the best way I could. So like having a good morning routine where it worked for me and I knew that I could go to class after doing that morning routine. Like, I'm not the kind of person who can wake up 30 minutes before a class and then go. Some people, that might work for them because they don't have like an hour to just sit around and like contemplate that. But for me, like, I need to wake up 2 to 3 hours before a class, have like a full-on day to myself before I can go. So I found that like waking up, having enough time to like put on a cute outfit, like do my hair a different way, doing my makeup, making myself a really nice breakfast, journaling, reading, studying or something before. It kind of like just got me in the groove of going. I was like, well, I'm already going. Like, I don't want to just sit in bed and lay down and go to sleep. I would like to go to class because like, what else am I going to do? So I think that helped. And I think also, like, if you can choose classes that you know are at good times for you, also helps. Like, there's like the trend going around with like females, they're like bad hours, like from like 3 to 5 or whatever.
No, seriously, it's so true.
So true. Like, you just want to fall asleep. It's like, I never plan classes then. I always like to have like early morning-ish into like early afternoon classes. But if you're not that way and you like to sleep in, then like give yourself time to sleep in if you can. It's like also not setting yourself up to like not go to that class. Like, if you hate waking up early, don't sign up for an 8 a.m. Like, you're not going to change. Like, don't do that to yourself. If you want to start getting up early, get up early without the class. Because I feel like if I were to wake up for an 8 a.m. class, I would not want to go to that class. Like, no one wants to sit in an 8 a.m. lab or lecture.
Yeah, no. That sucks.
Yeah, I feel like like setting yourself up in other aspects of your life also helps not skipping class, staying motivated, and like the things that you're doing outside of class also affect your homework, your studying habits, how you're doing in school. So yeah.
And also when you're planning your schedule, like, make sure that there's some breaks everywhere, because this past semester I was taking 2 classes in the morning, then I worked, and then I took another class, and there was literally no break more than 15 minutes in between each of those. So I never had time to get lunch. I had to like eat a big breakfast and had to have that tie me over for a really long time. And that was every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I don't know if I said that or not, but I totally regret not allowing myself a break. Like, seriously, give yourself some grace, give yourself a break. And
Mm-hmm.
that way you won't want to like skip classes. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you know, oh, like I have like this break today between 2 classes or whatever, that's when you can maybe take a nap or maybe, get some food in you. Yeah, just like piling your schedule up too much, I think almost made me hate going to class even more,
Mm-hmm.
because I would wake up on Monday, Wednesday, Friday and be like, wow, today's going to be so busy and I'm gonna barely get any food. Like, it was
Yeah.
my fault for setting my schedule up like that. Like, you have control over setting up your schedule. So make sure that you really will enjoy it and you're not gonna regret it.
Yeah. I feel like that also goes along with just like giving yourself grace in that first semester, especially because you don't know exactly how you're going to like things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I personally don't like breaks in between my classes because if I take a nap, I won't want to wake up and I'll skip that class. So it's like also giving yourself grace of you don't know exactly how you want to be in college or who you are in college because you might have changed since high school and your routines have changed and your habits have changed.
Mm-hmm.
So also giving yourself grace in that and letting yourself explore different schedules and routines to figure out exactly what you like. Because I learned that I don't like breaks in my schedule, and I would rather get it all done.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
So like just letting yourself explore those different, I don't know what you would call it, like different schedules, I guess, and giving yourself grace that you don't know exactly what you're going to like and not like.
Yeah.
And then once you figure that out, do what you like. Because everyone is so different.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess for me, like, what I meant was more like, I don't know, but I guess my situation was really unique because I would have to get up at like 8:30. No, just kidding. 9 o'clock, go get breakfast. Then I had class at 10:30, and then I wasn't done with stuff until 4:30.
Yeah, like
So
that's a lot.
A lot of the times when people do back-to-back classes, they'll maybe have 2 back-to-back or maybe 3 tops. But I had 4 things back-to-back.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So I think I think that'd be a lot for anybody. And anyone would want to break it between 4 different like hour to 2 hour things. Like, it's just a lot. And I know that like people are like, oh, but in high school, we're there for however long, 6, 7 hours.
It's not the same.
It's not, because I don't know why it's not the same. It's just not. Like,
it's not. Once you already start the routine of only having 2 to 3 classes a day and they're only like an hour each, college feels, just the act of like being like present in class, that part feels very easy. Obviously the workload and like the rigorous programs are harder, but like it's so different, and then like you get so and it becomes easy. But also, like, if you were to go back to high school, I could not do high school again after like going, like after having like Wednesdays and Fridays off. Like, oh yeah, I'm down for my schedule. Like I don't want to do anything now.
Yeah, and it's also like in high school, I feel like a lot of people would have either a study hall or they'd have time in other classes to do
So true.
homework, or do work for any of your classes, really. But in college, you go to the class, you're learning something the entire time, and you don't have time to do homework for that class. You don't have time to do homework for other classes. Like, you really don't.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you still are in school for that long.
Yeah.
Like the length of a high school day, maybe even longer, because if you work in all of the homework and all the studying that you have to do,
It's a lot.
it seems just as long as a normal high school day. Like,
just in a different, like, just in a different setting and
Yeah.
location, and it's all on your terms and your time, except for like your class times.
Yeah.
But like you get to decide when you want to do homework. Like you can do homework at 12 in the morning, or you can wake up early and do it at 7 in the morning. Like, or you could do it during lunch. You know what I mean? It's different.
It's very different. Along with academics being a lot different in school and just living on your own being a lot different, the social aspect and making new friends is also very different. A lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people have been going to school with the same people since maybe 6th grade, right?
Yeah.
Obviously there's like kindergarten through 5th grade, but for our high school, it was 4 different elementary schools going into one middle school. And then all of those people went into high school together. So for us, since 6th grade, we've been going to school with the same exact people. Everyone is a familiar face. You know, you're not going to be friends with everybody in high school, but you are familiar enough with them, and you have been familiar with them for a long time that going to school is comfortable social wise, for the most part. I mean, I remember I have like bad social anxiety. So even knowing most everyone in the high school, I'd still get a little bit anxious, but for the most part, you're comfortable because you've been around the same people for a long time. You probably have made some really good friendships throughout middle school or high school, and you've just been going to school and living by them for so long.
Yeah.
But then poof, you're gone in a different, like you're in a different environment. You might be out of state. You might be really close to home, but maybe all your friends from high school are other places. There's, a variety of different experiences that people have. Like you might be commuting to school, like I mentioned earlier. But like, I mean, overall, you are going to be going to a school with all new people.
Which is exciting, but also really nerve-wracking at the same time. I think something that helps is like a dorm setting. My dorm experience, I feel like it was really rare, just from other people that I've talked to, but my whole dorm floor and we were all like best friends. So like doors open all the time, people in the middle rooms, like the lobby, of the floor always were out there. We would play game nights almost every single night, like big groups of like 15 to 20 of us. So for me, it was very easy to meet new people. And my school, Grand Valley, they like did so many things in the beginning of like freshman orientation to get you to know people. That's how I met like some of my best friends now, literally through orientation. And I really think like putting yourself out there, like almost in the most obnoxious way, like don't be afraid to like go and knock on someone's door or like find their Snapchat through like, or group me through like RA things. Like I had a group me group chat with my RA and like all the people in my building. Don't be afraid to reach out to those people because they live in your building, they're near you. And also, they're also freshmen. And
going through the same exact anxiety, for sure.
Yes, they're also going through the exact same thing that you're going through, especially since they go to the same school. They're going through all of the different freshman things with you, too. They probably aren't from, especially if it's not a community college, they're probably not from around that area. They're probably not going home every weekend, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So just like reaching out and doing it in an obnoxious way almost, because you really have to put yourself out there. It's not weird when people do that like freshman year, because that's kind of what you expect, or you're like, yes, thank you so much for reaching out. I really appreciate that because I'm in the same boat and I'm also trying to make friends.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's good, and also like not putting too much pressure on yourself of once you meet someone like needing to be friends with them or needing to be close.
Yes.
I feel like making friends is kind of like, it's kind of like dating almost. Like you're meeting so many new people. Don't feel pressured to get someone's Snapchat or Instagram right away. Don't feel pressured to connect with that person right away. Everyone is so different, and everyone is meeting so many new people at the same time that the first person you meet is not going to be your best friend. Like, even the third or fourth person you meet isn't going to be your best friend.
Or they might.
Yeah, or they might. Yeah.
It's really all up in the air. Like,
yeah.
You don't really know. It's an anxious time because you're just not aware of what's really going to happen. And obviously that's how life is. Like, you just cannot predict the future at all. And the best thing you can do is just be yourself and go to the events that the school organizes. Go to the events that clubs organize.
Just go. Even though they seem stupid, just go.
Just go. Like, I didn't go to as many as I should have, I guess is what I'm saying. I went to some my freshman year. They usually do, like, at my school, they do like welcome week, which is a week long period for just freshmen to be there. Not even the whole school, just freshmen. And they have events every single night. And it's like the week before school starts. So
yeah,
I went to some of the events. I didn't go to all of them. I wish I had gone to all of them now looking back, which is why I'm saying just go to all of them. Because
just go. Like, it's only a week. Just go.
Yeah, because, like, imagine it's a week long. You meet someone on Monday. You see them again at the next event on Tuesday. You see them again on that next event on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And that can happen with multiple people. And then, the multiple occasions of seeing them within even the same week, like within days of each other, like that really helps build the memory of the person in both their minds and your mind. And so they'll be like, oh my gosh, yeah, like I totally met you yesterday. Because, like, it's kind of different when you see someone one weekend and then you see them the next weekend. Like, there's a whole week in between. You might not remember. You might have been drunk. And they might have been drunk. So, like, we'll go into that, like parties and stuff. But anyway, that's like another thing, like social aspect, going to parties. And you don't even have to drink. You don't have to do any of that stuff if you're not comfortable with that. But literally, like, if you hear about one and someone says, hey, come with me, or you just want to go with maybe your roommate or something, that's another really good way to meet people too, because that is a very, like, relaxed, like, low-key, just everyone there is having a fun time. Everyone, like, I don't know, when I've gone to parties, everyone has been, like, fun to talk to, just going up to them, being like, hey, like, I don't know, just a random person. That's just kind of how I am, though. But
yeah, I think that also depends on who you are as a person.
Exactly.
Like, a lot of, like, I am not that kind of person to, like, go to the parties, and that's not my favorite way to meet friends, because I just don't do that as much in my life. And I think the way to meet some of the best people in your life is to find them doing like-minded activities, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, like, also, but, like, if you are a super social person and you love meeting people in that way and you're excited about that part in college, then definitely go do that, because that is a great way, because then you are meeting like-minded people like you.
Yeah, and, like, again, like I said, you don't have to drink. You don't even have to be a big party person. I think it's still important, though, to maybe at least go to one your freshman year. Like, I don't know, because the thing I was saying about familiar faces at high school and how that made it comfortable for me, going to parties helps you make those connections and see those familiar faces, because there's probably going to be more people there than there are at school, like school organized events. Like, I mean, it really depends, honestly, on what's going on. But
I think it depends on the kind of person you are, too.
Well, yeah, and I keep saying, I literally keep saying that, too, is like, you don't have to go.
Yeah.
You don't. And you don't have to drink again. But I don't know. That's just my experience. That's how I made connections, literally just by, like, seeing their faces and then seeing them on campus. And I'm like, okay, like, I know more people, or I'm familiar with more people than I think I am. Like, I went to a couple at the beginning of my freshman year, and I was not a party person. I was not. Like, this is why I'm saying this, because that's not the kind of person that I was in high school at all. Like, there was a lot of people who were like that at our high school, but I never was. And then I was really nervous to go to these parties, because I'm like, this isn't me. this is weird. Like, I'm kind of nervous. I'm scared. But literally, if you go, like, you're gonna have one person at least with you, your roommate, that like you will know well enough to just be like, hey, want to go to this. And yeah, it might be nerve wracking. You might show up, even if you hate it. Like, if you end up hating it, you can leave after 10 minutes. You know what I mean? But at least you tried, right? So that was something that I really like. And now I'm actually more of a party person than I obviously was before. And at first I hated going. But I will say that like some people that I have really great conversations with are at parties, or I'll see them like later in the week and I'll go and say hi. One of my friends who's in my sorority, like we went to the same party, like our first party ever in college, together because we had like mutual friends at that point. And now she and I are super close and we talk about that experience all the time and how scared we both were. And so like you don't even have to be a party person. Like I wasn't at all. It's still fun. And like even if it's not, leave, but like I don't know, just pushing through the anxiety is important because I had so much anxiety freshman year, and there were so many times when I was like, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. If I had like avoided everything, if I had listened to my anxiety the whole time, I would not be who I am today. Like seriously, I would be very antisocial and I wouldn't know that many people on campus. Like I just like the idea of at least knowing what someone looks like, oh, I've definitely met them before, or I've definitely been in their presence before outside of just walking past them on campus, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, for sure. I feel like ways that I've been able to make friends outside of parties and stuff
and I'm not trying to preach go to parties. I know it sounds like I am. I guess I've just had a good experience with it, but
yeah, which is fine. I think it's good that we have both perspectives.
Yeah.
That's good. I feel like clubs and jobs on campus or off campus, definitely like when you're living in the dorms, people on your dorm floor, I feel like just people in your classes, like, again, kind of that factor of being obnoxious about it, like really making an effort to talk to that person, be really friendly with them, invite them out for coffee, like invite them to different events, like just do it, because you never know. Like I've met some of my best friends through my classes and through my clubs, and like I was in a Taylor Swift club last year and I met great people through that club.
Oh, I wish my school had that so bad.
And like again, that's a like-minded activity. So you already have something in common. You already have something to talk about with that person. The other club I'm in is NISHLA, which is the speech pathology and audiology club at my school, which is my major. And that again is a like-minded factor. And for that club, we have to volunteer. We have to do community events. So then you like are kind of obligated to talk to people because you then have someone to do that event with.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's so true. Because then you can like go to those specific events with the people you've met within the club or whatever it is. Yeah,
exactly.
That's nice.
Yeah, and for sure, like roommates, mutual friends, I think is also something important.
Friends of friends.
Yeah, friends of friends. And jobs. My first job in Michigan it was harder for me to make friends because they were a lot of older people, and that job was pretty cliquey. But the new job I'm at is an on-campus job. If you need a job or if you want to get a job, I highly recommend an on-campus job. They do a great job at like accommodating with your schedule. It's not too many hours. It's not too little. And also those people also go to not Grand Valley, wherever you go to
your
school.
college, your school, whatever it is.
They also go to your school. And it's fun because you can relate on a level of working. And I think coworkers and friendships with coworkers is such like a different, unique friendship.
It is.
It's different
it's
than
so
like
good.
A regular friendship. I don't know what it
hits
is.
So hard.
It does. And so my job specifically has like made such an effort to really create a fun group of friends, and we hang out outside of work with like our boss and our managers. Mm-hmm. So that's also fun. And another thing, like intramural sports is really fun. I'm doing an intramural volleyball team next semester with my coworkers. So just like finding people to do that with. There's also, I don't know if, I'm sure Augustina had this, but like Instagram pages or like Grand Valley had like a whole website of like incoming freshmen and like almost like a dating app, but like for friendships. Also doing those because I've met good people through that too.
Yeah, there's usually like some sort of either Facebook or Instagram account that will like most likely post both like you and then other people that are going to the school. Like a lot of times people use it to find a roommate. Yeah. But it also helps you kind of just like, even just like looking at it, and then you can be like, oh, I know this person's name now, or like I know their face. So then if you see them on campus, Instagram, that too. Them. They usually will like tag the person in the picture, which is really nice. DMing them, hey, I'm going to this school too. Let's talk or whatever.
Yeah, which is not weird at all.
It's not weird. It's not weird. Like I have gotten messages from some people who go to my school that I didn't really know. And I've never once been like, ugh, that's so weird. Why would they do that? I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel so like appreciated right now that they made the effort to reach out to me.
For sure.
And literally just say like, hey, or whatever it is. So it's really nice. And going back to like jobs, oh my gosh, I work in admissions at my school. So I'm a tour guide, and we have like this student worker room. So you're just like sitting around chatting with your friends all day, obviously working, but you know, you're all in there together. And then, you just make a lot of friends through that. Like I just started this job this year. But I would recommend on-campus jobs for sure. I think we'd both recommend that. Because then you can stay on campus too if you need to go to work. Like it's just right there on campus. So
I also feel like I had a job my second semester of freshman year. A lot. I don't know. I only know maybe one other person outside of work at my school that has a job in college. Not a lot of my friends had jobs in college at all. And so I feel like if you need a job in college, it's good to become friends with those people because they relate to having homework on top of work. Yeah. Whereas your other friends don't.
Yeah. Some people don't need to work during college, and that's okay too.
And they can't work in college, which is totally fine.
They're too busy or whatever it is,
But I do think, like, if you can get a job or you feel like you can, I don't think it's a bad idea to get one right away because it allows you to have something other than just schoolwork and college being your whole life.
And then you can meet people that way too, which is great.
Yeah. And like personally, I find a lot of fulfillment out of working, and obviously like getting money and doing, especially with my job, it's just a lot of reward into it, and I find a lot of fulfillment from it. So if you can get a job like that, it gives you more of a passion as well. It helps build your resume. It looks good, and it also helps time management and balancing schoolwork. And if you are someone who is struggling to make friends and struggling to put yourself out there, it's a great way to do that. And also it gives you something to do, because I feel like when you don't have stuff to do, it can feel really isolating and lonely. Yeah. And I'm someone who gets so anxious when I don't have anything to do. So work really helps that. Volunteering is super helpful. One of my roommates last year, she volunteered for like a food service company every week, maybe a few times a week. And that was like not a job, but it was similar to a job. She just wasn't getting paid for it. But it was, again, something to get volunteer hours in, something to have a schedule in, build a routine around. So things like that, I think, also help, especially if you're very routine-oriented. That helps.
But yeah. So Going along with just making friends, um, there's also like something so important that you need to remember too. And like Emma, you mentioned this that oh, like the first person you meet isn't going to be your best friend, or third, fourth, whatever you said. I can't remember exactly. But yeah, you're going to meet lots of people, and not everyone's going to be your bestie, and that's okay. Um, and there might be times when someone does become your bestie, but they turn out to not be the person that you thought that they were. Like, I'm just going to be so honest right now. Making friends in college, like, they're literally brand new people. You have no idea, like, who they are truly. And I'm not saying don't trust anyone. Like, obviously, that's not what I'm saying. But basically, I just want to put out there that, like, college is the time to literally become the best version of yourself and just, like, um, do what's best for you. You're learning how to take care of yourself without your parents there. And taking care of yourself like comes with making sure that you have good people in your life. And if you become friends with someone in college and then you realize, oh, maybe this person isn't the best to have in my life right now, or maybe they're not as nice as I thought they were, or like, like you meet people, they're really nice, and then you realize they were kind of fake from the beginning, that's okay. Like literally being like, okay, you know what? No, I'm not going to deal with this. Just making sure that, yeah, when you're in college, once you do get to the point of having a couple like really solid friendships, I know we're just talking about kind of the beginning, but I'm talking about a little bit later when you do have some good friends. At your school, and don't just stay in a friendship because of the fear of not having that many friends in school. Like I don't have that many friends at school. I have a couple pretty close ones, and genuinely I feel like that's all I need because they're good people. I have my friends at home, I have my family, I have like a good support system in my life, filled with people that do make me a better version of myself. Like every single day I feel like they have done something for me. And obviously, like, it's reciprocated. I do stuff for them back. I'm not being like, I just take and take from friends. But if someone at college, that you've met, you've become friends with, turns out to not be a good fit for you, it's okay. That's okay. And I would just say, I know that it'd be hard to be like, maybe I should stop hanging out with them. But if you feel that intuition, like if you feel that in your gut, then you're probably right. And you probably shouldn't hang out with them anymore, if that makes sense. Because seriously, like college, again, is really like a time when you're growing up, you're maturing, and you don't want to have anyone in your life that is dragging you down.
Yeah, be picky. And like,
seriously,
don't be mean to yourself about being picky and having high expectations in friendships either. Because those people that you meet are probably going to be lifelong people. And if they aren't, that's fine. But you do grow in a different way. Whereas like maybe some friendships in high school, you've outgrown them, and that's okay too. Yeah. But in college, you're in a stage where you are growing up and you're becoming you. Whereas middle school and high school, you're in this period of changing all the time. And in college, and as you're growing up through college, you're kind of at now a steady pace, and you're kind of like, okay, I kind of know who I'm becoming now and what I want in my life. And you are experiencing new things, but you're also deciding what you like and what you don't like, and you're knowing that more within yourself.
Yeah. Definitely.
And so then that's when you really know who you want to be around and who you like being around and what values align with yours. So it is okay to be picky, and it is okay to not have a lot of friends.
Yeah,
definitely. Like, don't worry about having a lot of friends in college. Like, I don't personally. The only thing that I feel is like big groups of friends is like sororities and frats.
Yeah, and you pay for that. Like, you pay to be in that. So it's like,
no, literally, I was with someone the other day and they were like, I'm paying those. Like, those are friends that I pay for.
Yep, basically. It's like, it's not like fully like that. Yeah, no, you're paying to be in it because I am in a sorority, so I have that perspective. But I will say that, like, you may see a big sorority and be like, oh, they're all such good friends. Yeah. Like, I wish I had It's not like that at all. Trust me. I may be close with 6 people out of like the 80 something in my sorority. Yeah, I'll put that out there. It's fine.
Okay.
Because, I mean, it's the truth. Like, I'm super close with maybe 5 or 6 people in my sorority. And that's how I feel like a lot of people are within every sorority, every fraternity. It's because it's not really possible to be super close with 80 people. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, like, that's a lot of people. And at bigger schools, like, the sororities are even bigger. So, but, like, even, like, if you do, whoever's listening to this, if you do end up, like, going through Rush and, like, pledging and stuff, it can be really beneficial because you do meet a lot of great people. And I definitely, like, don't regret ever joining the sorority. Like, I do really like it because I've met some really, really great people. And some people that I consider to be, like, really close friends. So, but again, like, for everyone, you're not going to become friends with every single individual in that group. Yeah. You can be, like, you'll be friendly, but, like, it's hard to get to know that many people at literally the same time. You know what I mean?
And, like, what I mean is that those are really the only big groups of people that I ever really see. Like, there's never, like, in high school, you know who the big popular people are. You don't know that in college. Like, you don't care about that either. No one else does. And so, like, if you have just, like, 5 friends over, that's a sleigh. Or, like, even just one girlfriend, one boyfriend is totally fine. Like, I feel like college isn't very cliquey at all. Like, I don't feel that way, at least. Especially going to a big school. It might be different for your school. Like, there are so many people, Grand Valley is, like, a medium-sized college, but compared to your school, I have, like, 26,000 more students at my school than you. Yeah. So it's just a difference. So, like, me, I don't know everyone at Grand Valley, and, like, I see a different person every single day when I'm walking to classes. Even I never see anyone out.
Literally, even me, I go to a school with 2,500 students. So it's, like, hella small. So small. It's hella small. But every day, I surprise myself. Every day I see a new face. Yeah. I'm like, how is this possible?
But
like,
do you run into a lot of people?
Oh, yeah. Like,
I never run into anyone. Never.
Which is something I like, actually, that running into people and, like, on my way to class. Yeah. On my way to class, I'm like, hey. I don't know.
Yeah. But it's good, though, from, like, a super small college like yours, from your perspective, that it's not cliquey either.
Yeah, it's really not. Like, I don't think it is. Like, you kind of see different friend groups together, but they're not cliquey.
Yeah, no, it's not cliquey.
They'll talk to everyone, and, like, the individuals within that group will have their own friends.
And you're kind of a part of, like, a bunch of different groups, too. Like, your work group, your classes group, your study groups, your roommates. Like, you're a part of many different groups, but no one is cliquey, I feel. Yeah. Which is nice, because it's different from high school.
Yeah, that's a big thing that changed too, that I really liked.
Yeah, it's nice. And if it does become cliquey, I feel like removing yourself from that situation, because I don't think it's supposed to be like that. No. College is
should be pretty drama-free.
Yeah, and college is, I feel like, supposed to be a very individual journey, and it's supposed to be your path and the way that you want to go down. It's not supposed to be about drama and stupid things. It's supposed to be about, like, your education and, like, making great memories with new people, creating new experiences and new moments in your life. And something also that I want to emphasize is that you're never going to get back this time. That's something that I think about every day. Like, I do not take college for granted.
Yeah, it's so awesome. College is so awesome.
It's awesome, but it's also, like, a very confusing time. Yeah. But, like, when you know you're in a good moment, really appreciating that good moment and being present, and also knowing that after this, you're never going to get that back at all. Yeah. Like, you're never going to be in this position where you can go to school and have, like, great friends in your life, making great new memories, not having to work a full-time job. I mean, you're worrying about money, but not to the point where, like, you have to pay rent every month. Right. You're not
taking care of kids. You're not taking care of, like, a marriage. Exactly. Like, you are seriously so independent. Yeah. Which is why I say, like, it's okay if you're cutting toxic people out of your life, because it seriously is a time when like you want to do what's absolutely best for you, because you are setting yourself up for life, basically. Like after college, I mean, we're both going to grad school, but
grad school's different.
Well, yeah, but like after that, then we're like in the real world, working women, and you know, college is the time where we build the foundation. No, for real. We build the foundation for ourselves in order for us to have a successful life. If you don't do what's best for you now, and like if you don't build a good foundation for yourself now, it's going to be hard to maintain relationships when you're older. It's going to be hard to take care of yourself, take care of children, keep a job. Like, you know what I mean? Those are all really big things that might be daunting. But all I mean is like knowing yourself, loving yourself, figuring out exactly what makes you happy and who makes you happy is like seriously what's going to set you up for a really successful and happy life.
Yeah. And just doing it. Like if your friends are going on a trip, go on the trip. Like if you're debating on like going out with someone, just go out with them.
Be spontaneous.
And also know money comes back. It's not going to be gone forever.
Yeah.
You have your entire life, literally your entire life to work. You have like this moment in your life is so special where you don't have to work all the time. You have to worry about money, but again, like you don't have to worry about paying the bills.
Yeah.
Like take advantage of that time. Like money comes back, time doesn't. And I think that's something that I've tried to really take advantage of right now, especially in my life. Although like you have to be smart with money and make sure that you're not going into debt or anything.
Yeah.
But you're never going to get that time back, and you're never going to have the opportunity again to like take a spontaneous trip or seriously. just drive home and see your friends once in a while. Like in a few years, like you could be across the country from your best friend. It's like take that time, don't take advantage of that, or take advantage of that time. Don't take it for granted. That's what I mean.
Yes.
Don't take it for granted. And just do it. Like if you want something, just do it. Because money comes back, moments don't. And seriously, I think now, especially in the world we live in, you shouldn't miss out on the things that you really want to do.
Yeah.
Just because of money or because of your job or because of something else. And I think that college is a great example of that.
You're so wise, Emma. Oh
Thank
my God.
you.
You sound like this book that I read for my class that was talking all about that, where it was like, would you choose more time or more money? And like, choose time for real, because you really really learn how to live in the moment however you can. Try, because seriously, like you're gonna look back at some point when Emma and I are old and gray, we're gonna look back and be like, wow, college was so awesome. And it's just wow, I'm so glad I didn't take that for granted.
And even like if and of course like different situations are so different, but if you are in a situation where you can go away to school or like you can get an apartment on your own or with roommates, like do it. Like I don't know. My mom is the one who has told me this. Me and my mom like live very similar lives, and like what I'm doing right now she was doing in her life. And she's always told me money comes back, time doesn't. And she's always told me you have your entire life to work. Like go and experience life right now.
That's what my dad tells me too.
And like that is something that has stuck with me, and I think that that's why I went to college right away. And I had that opportunity. Even if I didn't have the money to go to college, I probably still would have went, because
you'll be in debt, but like everyone's going to be in debt from school.
Everyone is going to be.
Everyone's going to be in debt from college, and that's okay.
And I just think that after going, and after experiencing college, there is no other way to get the college experience other than going to college. I'm sorry, but there isn't. Like, the experience of college that we have experienced is so different than someone who is not in school. And that's fine. You don't have to experience that. If you don't want that in your life, don't do it. But if you have like just a little part of you that wants that, it's okay to experience that, and it's okay to make that risk.
Yeah.
And
if you end up not liking it, leaving a school, leaving college, transferring schools, that's all okay.
Totally fine.
And it's all normal. I know a lot of people who have done it. My sister, some of my friends, like a lot.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's another thing. Like, also know that you can always go home. You can always drop out. You can always switch your major.
Yeah. You can take a semester off and try to figure some things out. It happens.
This is the time to do it. This is the time where it is okay to do that.
Yeah, not that much is at stakes. Seriously, not that much. So yeah, everybody's college experience is different. And we might even make an episode about this.
I think we should. With
different people's college experiences that we know of.
What else was I going to say?
But yeah, everyone's, I guess I should say, this period of time, it's like 18 to 22 or whatever. This period of time is really different for everybody. Some people might go to trade school, the military, college, community college, commute to school. There's so many different things. And obviously, like, we're not experts on any other experience besides our own. So both of us 4-year college, both living on campus, basically. Or in an apartment, technically off campus, but very close to campus. Yeah. So that's our own experience. So that's kind of, I don't know. We were just
also remember
giving advice from our own experience.
Yeah, exactly. And just to give like the listeners a different perspective, and obviously if you're looking for another perspective, go listen to another podcast and listen to that one. But also remember how young you actually are. Like when I was deciding on changing my major or not, and if I was going to change, I would have to do grad school. And I was like, oh, like I'm not gonna graduate with my friends, and like I'm gonna be so old when I graduate. Like I want to start life already. But like
you are starting life already.
Well, yeah, also, but also like at 22 when you graduate, do I really want to start my life at 22 yet?
No.
And also remember,
you want to live with me and go to grad school with me.
Exactly. Well, when we graduate grad school, I want to do
that so bad.
Yes, and when we graduate grad school, we'll be 24.
Yeah, it's okay. 24 is literally so young.
Does anyone realize how young 24 is?
24 is so young.
Like, I'd rather start my life at 24 or 25. Like,
I'd rather start my life at 30. I'd still feel young. I'd still feel young.
Same.
Like, literally.
So just remember how young you are, and you have, like, you don't need to rush. If you have to take an extra year, fine.
That's okay.
You don't need to start when it's, like, society's expectation.
Yeah.
To start. You don't have to.
Go at your own pace, seriously. Go at your own pace.
You know yourself the best, and follow your gut and trust your intuition because it's right.
Facts.
No cap, slay.
Facts, no cap. Facts, no printer.
Wow. Our first Girl Meets podcast season 2024.
2024. We are back and better than ever, guys.
This felt really good.
This felt so good. We were both very nervous at the beginning. We were like, are we going to be able to do this still like we did in high school? But I think we even did better than we did in high school.
I think so too.
High school, we were chaotic and we were a mess, and like nothing was organized. Everything was an organizational mess, and it was just bad. So this time around, we're going to do better, and I'll just put this disclaimer out. We're going to try our best to post every single week.
Yeah.
On what? Mondays. And it'll be early in the morning. So I don't know.
We're still deciding if we want to do like 6 a.m. or like 12 a.m.
Yeah.
We're not really sure.
But it's going to be on Mondays.
Yeah.
Every week.
We'll see.
So.
Follow our Instagram, Girl Meets Podcast _.
Yes.
I'm going to try and work on like a Facebook maybe.
Yes.
I feel like these videos are fun.
The videos are fun.
Maybe we could upload them on a YouTube channel.
Maybe, yeah, we could.
We
could.
But
yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. stay tuned for next Monday when our next episode will come out.
Slay! Happy holidays and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year!
Slay! Okay, wait, should we have an outro?
We have an outro.
Okay. Bye!
Okay, we're signing off now. Bye! Bye.